Hey guys, I'm Ubiru and welcome back to World of Warships. Today we'll be looking at the Tier 7 American cruiser, the Pensacola, or I like to call it the Pepsi-cola. It's a bit better than the previous tier, but a bit worse in some other respects, but mostly better. From the back you can see that the ship is a lower profile than the previous tier, the Cleveland. This is the Pensacola, and this is the Cleveland. It's definitely lower, so it's kind of harder for the enemies to get some decent shots onto you if you're moving at a good speed, and this can get to a good speed. So let's look at the statistics of the ship. So survivability is 46. That's only very slightly better than the previous tier. Has slightly worse armour, however, than the Cleveland. This is a very lightly armoured ship. It only has a maximum of 6mm of armoured deck armour. Citadel is up to 76, but the rest is pretty much paper armor. This would probably it's probably equivalent in most respects to a destroyer's armor. So this can easily be penetrated by pretty much everything that fires at it. And if you get Citadel hits on this thing, and Citadel is quite the hitbox is quite big for this ship, you can very easily get some good crits and kill this off very quickly. So 46 is a very slight increase on the Cleveland, which is a 45. Artillery, now this is the interesting part of the ship. The Cleveland has higher artillery stat, but that's deceiving, because the artillery on this ship, it has an increased caliber from 156 to 203mm guns. And you can see at the front here we have two guns at the front and 2 at the back. One on the very front one has 2 barrels, and the one above it has 3 barrels, and that's the same for the back. Now this is an upgrade, but it's a part of the whole upgrade. The Cleveland ship has 4 3-barreled guns, so the only difference really here is a missing of 2 barrels. But of course they're higher caliber, so it sort of makes up for it. But the rate of fire is substantially less than the Cleveland's. The secondary armament is, we have these standard 127mm guns on the side. There are 8 of them in total. Of course, our secondary armament is the armament that you don't directly control. You action it into targeting different things, but the range is substantially less than the main guns. Now, next, that is the anti-air capability of the ship. This ship is same as its predecessor, the Cleveland. From here on in, it's very much focused on anti-air power, and this one is no exception to this. Anti-air capability is 28 out of 100, which is great at this tier. Not only that, it also has the special cruiser ability, which vastly increases the power of the anti-air guns for a short time. So same as the previous tier, we have these guns here, which are also used, can be used as secondary armament for targeting ships, and also can be used to target planes within the firing range of 5 kilometers. The Cleveland is only 27, so it is a very, very small increase in capability, but still very good nonetheless. Okay, the next stat of the ship is the maneuverability capability of the ship, and it has here a maximum speed of 33 knots, which is quite competent for a tier 7 ship. I think it's about the same as the previous tier, the Cleveland, and 33 is pretty good speed, considering destroyers go around 40 and battleships go around between 25 and 30. So this can outmaneuver and outspeed a battleship if necessary. Arguably the Congo. The Congo is an exception to this. It is a very fast battleship, but it still can maneuver very well nonetheless. Turning circle radius of 800 meters and a rudder shift time of 9.1 seconds. Now the rudder shift time it's pretty good, but I'll get to the upgrade I've chosen for the ship in a minute. But in this sort of ship, because you have such a small amount of armor overall, it's very weakly armored, only 6mm armored deck, and it's very easy to penetrate this and do full damage, especially with high explosive rounds. So I have chosen the upgrade which decreases the shift time of the rudder, so I can further increase the maneuverability of the ship. In my opinion, it's probably a very necessary upgrade. Now the concealment of the ship, it's a bit bigger and it's got a bit taller than the Cleveland at tier 6. So obviously the concealment is a bit less. We have 15.7 surface detectability range, which is the, funny enough, that's the range of the main guns. The main guns go 15 kilometers distance, so as soon as you see an enemy in the water, then they'll see you. The air detectability range is 7.8 kilometers, which isn't too bad actually. Planes go overhead, they go very fast anyway. If there's a plane anywhere near you, they're bound to spot you anyway. But you're not a primary target for torpedo boats and dive bombers. Their primary targets are the battleships, which is your primary objective to defend with the amazing anti-air capability of the ship. So let's look at the modules of the ship. Now there aren't a huge amount of upgrades for the Pensacola. You start off with the first upgrade, which you can unlock, which is the typical hull upgrade. So I've stripped all the upgrades off the Pensacola, and I'm going to go through the upgrades and what they do and etc. So the hull upgrade, the first upgrade you have to choose in order to upgrade either the gun or the gun fire control system. You get a standard increase in health. Most all hull upgrades of every ship in the game have some form of health increase, but this one is quite extreme at 6,200, which is very nice, to a maximum health of 34,000 health. This also increases the artillery and the anti-air capability of the ship. So it's kind of a bit secret here. I mean, the artillery, it says on the bottom here, after mounting, survivability +7, artillery +4, air guns +15. But the artillery, it doesn't go into specifics unless, of course, you click on the right-hand side here over artillery. And you see it's 4x2 at the moment. They are double-barreled guns, 4x2 203mm. But when you go over this and you click it, that then increases to 2x2 203 instead of the 4. And we have two 3-barreled guns, which are the ones kept on top. So let's upgrade this, and you see the top guns are now 3-barreled. So that's an extra 2 rounds per salvo, which can add up, especially with the upgrade, which I have chosen here, which is the increase in accuracy. The next upgrade I chose, which I would choose in this ship, it makes more sense to go for the increased range as opposed to a very, very slight increase in gun power. So this one here is an extra 10% in fire range. Gun fire control systems always have the same increase in range to a maximum for this one to 15.7 kilometers. Now that's actually a pretty good buy. Most sort of cruisers at this tier, max distance is around sort of 14 to 16 kilometers. So it's best to go for this one so they don't have an advantage over you firing their guns and hitting you where you can't fire your guns and hit them. So the final upgrade for the ship, there are no engine upgrades for this ship. You don't really need it. 33 knots is quite competent for this sort of tier. 33 knots isn't bad at all. So the last one is the slight increase in the gun battery. We have here a very slight increase in HE rounds, the shells, and HE and AP rounds. So 230 extra for AP and plus 10 for HE. The HE round it doesn't make much of a difference, but the AP does. If you keep pelting people with AP shells, which I always do in this thing, especially the bigger ships, you're more likely to crit higher and do more damage. It's not a huge amount, but it's there. So it's a nice upgrade. It's probably the most expensive upgrade for the ship in terms of experience, but worth it. Of course, after the gunfire control system. So I've chosen a few upgrades for the ship, the credit bought upgrades. Yeah, so the first one here is the main battery modification. So you only have 4 guns in this ship, and as I said, the armor is very weak. You can easily be penetrated. If high explosive goes and hits you on deck, then you're going to be set on fire, you're going to take full damage, you're going to be crumbled in no time. So I've chosen this one to reduce the critical damage on my main guns and reduce the chance of magazine detonation, because they're going to penetrate you over and over again, and it's going to get quite irritating after a while, to the extent where you need one of these. You need something to reduce the chance of detonation and critical damage for the main guns. I want the main guns up as much as I can, and 20% chance to 20% main battery repair time. which is also necessary. But of course, if they destroy one of your guns completely, then it can't be repaired. It's only this thing, the repair module, the function can only repair damaged things, not destroyed things. So the second one I've chosen is the accuracy increase for main guns. It's good with the extra 2 barrels. We're only 2 barrels short from the Cleveland with a higher caliber, and you also don't fire as often as the Cleveland. So this is necessary in my opinion. You need higher accuracy. You're firing at 15.7 kilometers, hopefully engaging battleships at long distance, and obviously other cruisers. You probably, I would recommend you take this one, because this one is probably the best upgrade out of all the upgrades at the moment, from what I've seen in the game. A very important upgrade. Next one is just a standard, I always take this on most of my ships, it's just a standard defensive damage control system, modification 1, just minus chance in flooding and minus chance in fire. Now this, you might not even see the chance. I mean, amount of people firing high explosive at this thing's going to burst into flames over and over again. So the minus 5% chance of fire can help, but of course it's not a huge percentage. But it doesn't cost a lot of money, so the rest are rather pointless. The reduced, crit damage on steering gears. You don't need this. You'd want the reduced chance of fire. It's much more usable in this ship. So, the last upgrade I've chosen is rudder shift time. As I said, the manoeuvrability of the ship can go to 9.1 seconds for a rudder shift time from full left to full right, or vice versa. I've reduced that by 20%. So then it's easier for me to move left and right, avoid the big shells from the battleships and hopefully the cruisers. Of course, you have to see them coming and move appropriately to a specific direction. So they're the main upgrades of and modules of the ship. So let's get into some games and I'll show you guys what this is like on the battlefield. Okay, this is the Islands of Ice map. So it's kind of hard to navigate on this map. It's not the most user-friendly map in my opinion, but as you can see, it's always the high tier sort of map for me. I don't know if it's like meant to be like this or if it's just my luck, but every time I get in this particular map, I'm either in a tier 6, tier 5 or whatever, tier 7 in this case, and we're against tier 9s. So that is very unlucky, a bit of a pain in the ass actually, because I can't really do a lot. But yeah, we have to cap A, B, C and D. But we have numerical superiority here, but they have higher tiers, much higher tiers. They have a lot of tier 8s, Amagi tier 8 battleships, which are very deadly. You have to be very careful about them, and their range is something like 25 kilometers. So I'm staying away from them and hopefully trying to engage the Cleveland, the Pensacola and the Mogami. Arguably the Baltimore, but they don't have any destroyers, so that can be used to our advantage, because usually destroyers on this map, they tend to weave in and out of the icebergs and do full salvos into unsuspecting prey, and then subsequently get tons and tons of damage and kills. I have done so on my Mitsuki a few times. But this is by no means my favourite map, but let's have a try. Let's see if we can get some kills. So 15.7 maximum range on these guns, and I think it's 5 kilometers per for the secondary armament and the anti-air guns. So there is something I haven't actually realised with the function of secondary armament and anti-air guns. Apparently you can, I have tried it earlier, you can in fact aim your, target a ship or a plane for your anti-air or secondary armament to then shoot. Of course it only shoots within the distance, which is 5 kilometers, but still, if there are 2 ships in front of you and you want to focus down one, you can, if you hold down control and then click, for instance if I want to click over here, I can't click at this range, but yeah, you would be able to click and it would then engage automatically. So I'm just going to follow the team, hopefully try not to crash into that iceberg. They are putting some big fire down onto our battleship. Of course the Amagi and the Nagato class have an extreme range, so they can quite easily kill a ship from this distance with a bit of luck. Now, it's sort of, yeah, both teams on this map, on this setup, spawn just parallel sides of A. And it's sort of a rush to get to the C and D, especially D points, because, well, the faster ship wins. And of course, if you cap more in this game mode, you win. You accumulate more points and then hopefully win the match. But in this game mode, of course, if you kill ships or lose ships, then it does affect your score. Not your personal score, but the score of the game. It can increase and decrease your team's tally of points. So we're still not within range of any decent ships at the moment. We're not, in fact, in range of anything. So this Pensacola is 16 kilometers away, but I'm sort of weaving in and out of the icebergs at the moment, and they are sort of either side of that big iceberg ahead. Of course, they can't spot me unless I'm within 15.7 kilometers distance of them, or 9 kilometers, I think it was, for planes. So there are no planes overhead, otherwise my anti-air would go wild. Okay, the Pensacola is within range, but he is still behind the big iceberg there. I'm not sure if it's an iceberg or if it's a mountain. It doesn't matter. But he has some friends with him.
Our team has taken the lead.
He's a Cleveland and an Amagi class. Amagi class you have to really fear. They have amazing caliber guns. In this, I wouldn't go anywhere near them. They would overmatch my armor with the huge caliber guns and take me down in probably 2, I don't know, maybe even 1 broadside. So let's see if we can turn a bit left. Turn left, full left. Let's see if we can get some shots on him. He's nearly into range now. Now in this, you would usually target at this sort of distance. Anywhere between sort of your maximum distance of 15 to around 10. Because you have no torpedoes in this ship, it's kind of pointless in order to do anything other than engage from this distance. You get nothing from it. You have no... Oh, we are firing a salvo. You get no advantages for firing at close proximity. Of course, these guns don't, turn very fast either, so it's a bit of a disadvantage. Okay, we are going to take some hits. We need to avoid them. Oh, that was dangerous. We're peppering them and they're peppering us. The gun reload is quite a lot worse than the previous tier. We have 2 cruisers, the Omoba and the Baltimore, just around the corner there, but I need to get more shots onto the head. Potentially this Mogami. The cruiser is out of distance. Mogami is now out of spotting range. This map is very large. It seems to be one of the biggest maps I've played so far. That's why it's so hard to maneuver around the place and actually get some good shots on people, because everyone is so far away. Now he is hidden again, so I can't get any good shots on him. But we are going to turn the corner and hopefully support the team. The Baltimore is a very powerful cruiser. Let's see if we can get some... switch to armor-piercing rounds. Oh, we're going to take some hits from the Nagato. We need to be very cautious here. Turn a bit harder left. Avoided most of the hits there. We did take some light damage though. And fire there. Some of the shots went over the mountain. Hopefully we'll get hit. Or maybe he gets grounded. No. Okay, that's a shame. Okay, we have armor-piercing armed, but we're against the Amagi now, and he's within sort of 10 kilometers, so we need to be very careful about what we do here. These guns don't do a huge amount of damage, but of course they do pepper the enemy the same sort of way the Cleveland does. So he has done a full broadside on me. I'm probably going to take some hits. He has led them fairly well. Oof. Oh, I'm going to get grounded. Alright, no, I barely missed getting grounded. That's good. So these guns do sound a bit different because they are, in fact, a different caliber to the Cleveland. In my opinion, they do sound a bit better. In fact, I'm very impressed by the overall quality of sound effects in this game. I think they're fantastic. I think they've really outdone themselves. I am in fact grounded now in a very, very odd way. We need to get shots on this Pensacola, the Pepsi-cola. Okay, we are free. Good, good, good. Okay, let's get some shots on. Usually you want to face more against these cruisers than... Oh! Yeah, battleships are too dangerous for you to really engage frontally. You don't want to get within range of the second island by any means, and that's sort of around, I think, 6 or 7 kilometers. So yeah, you don't want to go anywhere near that. You want to kite them as best you can around the map, because you do have faster. You're faster than them. You have better top speed, and you fire faster than them. So you have to use that to your advantage. You can't sit around and let them shoot at you. You have to get a hell away, like this Baltimore's trying to do now. I can't really cover him too well. Cleveland, oh dear. The Cleveland has a really good broadside. But not that great armour. Of course, these 203mm guns do have very good penetration, and well, they can quite easily kill the enemy if I get some good hits. But of course, only 2 of my guns at the moment are firing at the enemy. I didn't do them nearly as well as I should have done. Okay, the other 2 guns are coming around now. Get the hell away from the Umargi as best we can. Keep the fire on the Cleveland, because the Cleveland is the target to die here. We need the Cleveland to die. We don't want the Baltimore to die as well. Oh! That must have been the Fuso. Rookie mistake there, getting within very close proximity to a battleship. Just trying to do the best I can just to pepper the enemy from this sort of distance. Try and get all 4 guns available. In these high tier games, the Pensacola doesn't do too well. Because, you know, as soon as you get within close proximity of anything, they blow you away with their huge guns. I got 3,000... Oh, crashed into it. My bad. You get anywhere within shooting distance of the bigger ships, and then you're dead. That's pretty much how it is in this game. If you have no armor like this does, and you get hit by a broadside of any ship higher than you or bigger than you, you're going to die. So you need to keep away as best you can. But in the lower tiers, this is where this ship succeeds. We've only sort of accumulated 41 hits at the moment and 1 critical damage. No fires, no kills. But we are winning the match, so that's the important thing here. On both score and kills. Now, the Umargi is turning around. He's sort of retreating a bit. So I will potentially go for the other Umargi. We have a Fuso and another Umargi sort of focusing him down. See if I can assist the team a bit. Get my planes back up. There have been no anti-aircraft, well, sorry, aircraft carriers in this game. So I haven't really used at all the anti-air ability, which is the highlight of this ship. Same with the Cleveland, the anti-air and going upwards.
The enemy team is
the anti-air
taking the
capability is just it's crazy. Like, as soon as you use the Y button and you have that ability active, then it's just it pretty much clears the sky of all planes in close proximity to you. Very, very good. Okay, I'm being a bit risky here. I'm going a bit too close to this battleship, but we're nearing the end of the game, and just to spice things up, going for... But is he going for the ram? I think, yeah, he's actually going for the ram. Oh! He missed the ram. He was killed before the ram. Of course, if any ship rams another ship of the same displacement, the same sort of size, it doesn't matter about health. Health is irrelevant. If you ram it and you have 1 health, and the enemy has full health, the other enemy's dead. It's so overpowered at the moment. I hope they change that at some point. But it's actually a pretty good tactic to then charge the enemy. If you know you're going to die, just go for a ram. You get a kill out of it. It's pretty good. But yeah, just less than 800 experience, 39 free experience, 41,000 credits. So not a huge. This is sort of how I perform in this. I'm not the best, obviously, in this sort of ship, but this is how it's usually been for me in the higher tiers. When you go from sort of tier 7 to tier 9 to tier 10, it's kind of hard for you to perform well in the Pensacola. So this has been the tier 7 American cruiser, the Pensacola. So it's a pretty good ship all around. It still, you know, has the anti-air capability of the previous tier, the Cleveland, and it still goes on from tier 8 to tier 9 to tier 10. From here on in, it's very much focused on anti-air clearing, with some pretty good guns, 203mm guns, which can pelt the enemy from distance, and if necessary, pelt them from close distance. Of course, you want to keep your distance away from the bigger ships, but of course, destroyers, they try and get as close as possible, and occasionally, and you have to deal with them with your guns, which is fairly easy. But yeah, the Pensacola is a good ship. It's just a shame that it doesn't have the same amount of guns that the Cleveland has. If it had the extra 2 guns, and it had a very slightly increased rate of fire, then this ship would be ridiculously overpowered. The Cleveland is arguably overpowered at the moment, but this ship isn't quite there, in my opinion. I think this ship is fairly balanced in the current state of the game. So next time out, I will play around with the Saipan aircraft carrier, which is the tier 6 American aircraft carrier, which I'll put a video up on the next couple of days, and the tier 7 Nagato. So thank you very much for watching, guys. And I'll see you next time.